Conversations with the Citizen. I am your host, Tia Carol Jones. I am here today with Pastor Jeffrey Hodges and Don Hodges of the Imani Community Development Corporation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Great. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I'm Pastor Jeffrey Hodges of the King of Glory Tabernacle Church of God in Christ. I've been pastoring for 22 years, been at the church about 45 years. I live in the community. I feel that's really important as a pastor to live in the community. I ride my bike, walk through the community, so I have a feel of the community, and I have a great love for the southeast side of Chicago. And we also, I'm the founder of the Imani Community Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm the Executive Director of Imani Community Development Corporation. We've been in existence since 2001. We're the community side of the church, so we handle all the food distributions. We have a mentoring program. We have out-of-school time programming. That's what we are. We're just here to serve the community.
And so why was Imani Community Development Corporation founded?
I'll let her read the actual mission statement. That will give you clarity and clear direction what we're all about.
The mission of Imani Community Development is to improve the lives of the community of South Chicago, the South Shore communities by providing a holistic approach to servicing the needs of the entire family. We provide services and programs addressing specific challenges of community, resulting in healing and many of the economic, spiritual, social, and emotional needs. So we started it because we saw a great need in our community, basically, that a lot of services were, there's gaps, and we felt like we could fill those needs as much as we could. So we went to work and did what we could to bring resources to our community.
And to add on to that question, our church motto is the church that meets the need. So we founded Imani Community Development to really focus on the natural needs of the community. And then, of course, the church focuses on the spiritual needs. And so that's the reason why we really started Imani Community Development, to really help the church not have walls and open our church to really be a true community church.
How does the organization give back to the community? What are some of the things you do? You spoke about some of the programs.
Okay, we have our monthly food distribution every fourth Tuesday, and then during the pandemic, that increased to weekly. We scaled it back a little bit now since things are opening back up. So we're about twice a month we do distribution, sometimes 3 times a month. But our biggest one is monthly. We're part of the Produce Mobile with Greater Chicago Food Depository. And an 18-wheeler truck comes to get fresh fruit and produce to the community. Families leave with somewhere to 5 to 6 grocery bags of their choice. It's kind of like a free market a little bit. Then we also have a mentoring program.
Before you move on, Di, if you wouldn't mind, I want to add, we also, we just constantly get different connections for different types of food from different organizations. We do feed on Lower Wacker, like by 51st and the state, right by the police station on the divide out, and we also support different shelters, and we give them food, because sometimes we can get a whole semi, they'll call, and then we distribute to other food distributors, and so we've been doing this a long time. We were doing it back when we used to get the cheese, the government cheese. So we've been doing it a number of years. So you're talking about somebody remember that good government cheese, grilled cheese. Yes. Oh my God, help us Jesus. Yes. But anyway, we've been doing it a long time. I would say maybe over 30 years we've been feeding in some different ways, and has constant. When we first start feeding, we didn't have a great need in our community. We had our organization had a free Christmas dinner. Nobody came.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know, but I'll tell you now, it's a whole different atmosphere of need in our community. So we're really trying to meet that need.
So the mentoring is with the young men of our community. We do pre-pandemic. We met weekly in person, and we also had twice a week actually. We did Monday night book basketball at Jesse Owens from 6 to 8, and it was open. And then we did Wednesday like group mentoring sessions, and then during the week, their mentors reach out to their young men. That's our boys mentoring. We've been doing that for years as well. Right now, it's virtual due to COVID, of course. So we do virtual, and then just I think 2 months ago, we had our first in-person session. So we trying to bridge the gap because keeping them connected on Zoom is really, really difficult. But we was trying to make it work because we can't lose our boys. And then, I have anything to say on the mentoring group?
Also, we got a grant that really assisted us in the mentoring program, but it was to deal with how to interact with the police department. So we go to high schools, elementary schools to train them the proper way and their rights, to know their rights. And a lot of our young men don't know their rights. And so we do that too. And that was one of the most exciting things and one of the moments I really felt good about Imani. We were at a high school, and I'm sitting there, and I would say 80% of the young men that came in knew the presenter from the church.
Okay.
Because we have the basketball program.
Okay.
And they're coming in and speaking to them, and that really made me feel good that we're really touching and making relationships with young men. And that's one of our really focuses, to really help turn the lives of our young men and make it healthy, you know, encouraging, getting jobs. That's another thing we do. We get jobs and help them focus to going to college also.
As well as we, to tag along, I forgot, we were working on getting expungements done. We have 28 slots to get some young men expunged. We're partnering with Green Legal Aid, and they're promising to work with young men, well, anybody really, age 16 to 24. And we'll work on getting them expunged.
Okay. And so do you have page for that?
Or I actually have a Google form. They can go to our Imani Community Development Facebook page, and it's a Google form there, and all they have to do is just sign it and fill it out, and we'll reach out to them and make the connection happen. Our last program that's major, our main program is our out of school time program. So we normally would do pre-COVID, of course. We had after school and summer. We would have the kids, I focused on the kids kindergarten through 8th grade, and they would come to the church and do summer camp, and we would do tutoring, anti-bullying, self-esteem building. We just had a good time on summer, and then after school, we'll help with homework, make sure they eat, and then work on the same process again, self-esteem building, anti-bullying. We play games to just kind of build community at the school. So since COVID, though, we had to, we did the summer camp virtually. Okay. Which really, I was getting skeptical. I was like, oh no, these kids is not getting on the Zoom every day. But surprisingly, we had a good time. We had a good turnout. We was able to play Pictionary, and what we did was we, every Friday, I would do home drop visits and drop-offs, and drop off like a kit for that week. Okay. So that we can do they have all the tools that they needed to do online, and it was just a good time. So we're waiting on when the school open up, and we might open after school at that time, but that's a really good part of what we try to do. That's how we reach them one-on-one, and that's how we build a community, you know, with the partnership. We are partners with CPS. We're a safe haven site. So, go ahead.
Also, another thing that we ran into was really a major challenge was behavior problems.
Okay.
Where we, I just have a heart for young people. I would hate to send a child back home and say you can't come back to the program, because the one that you send home really needs to be in the program than the ones that are there. So we were able to get a grant to hire a psychologist to be at the program, to talk with the children. Reverend, and send them home. We would set up a time with the psychologist to get the approval of the parents. And then the next summer, we did the same thing. We didn't have to send any more children home. They had group meetings. So it's one of the major problems is mental health in our community. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but it's a serious problem, and I can see it. And we've been doing summer programs, again, maybe 25, 30 years, and it's getting really at an epidemic state, dealing with children, and it's to that point that we had to get a psychologist. So that's one thing. Then we also have, as far as relating to young people, we give toys away for Christmas. And what we'll do, we partner with the elementary school. We find out what's the needy families in the communities, get their list, and we'll give a list, and we'll take care of that list. And we will just put it on Facebook, promote it, and oh my God, it was a great need this year, more than ever. And we had a big shipment of toys come after Christmas, and so we got them packed in, waiting for next Christmas to give them away. So we really have a sincere concern about our young people, and that's what we endeavor to do. Also, we had a group of young men called the Warriors. They stepped, they praised, and about 30 of them, and they went all over the city. We traveled with the young men, and all the major events you can think of, my young men were there. So we try to give a out for young people to occupy their time.
And that kind of leads into my next question. Why is it important to provide a holistic approach when rendering services to families?
Well, I forgot one program, but that was post-COVID. We started doing CEDA, which adds to your question of a holistic approach, because I found that a lot of times the kids' behavior will be a direct reflection of what's going on at home. And so if the home is not in peace or solitude, they can't function, they can't do their work, they can't focus, So that would lead me to talk to parents and see what is it that we need to help the parent. Is it job training? Is it that we need to refer the families to family counseling? Is it that we need, if the lights are off, do I need to go upstairs to do a CEDA application? If you don't, it's systematic. You know what I'm saying? And if I found that the kids' behavior was always a direct reflection. So if I can hit the whole family as a holistic approach, then you are invoking change. Because if you get the child, it's very rare that you can impact a child outside of its environment, and then they're strong enough to go back in their environment and stay. Now, I have seen it done, but it's rare to do that. But when we impact the whole family, it's longer and more sustainable change, and I feel like the difference is made to the whole community, and it trickles down. That's why I feel like a holistic approach is more effective.
And also, I believe in connecting. We can't solve all problems. Imani can't. I'm really open to connecting with other non-profits, and we join in different partnerships. Don can speak more to that later. In order for us to be able, if somebody's on drugs, we can refer them to that person. And I think that's critical. And I would love to see the city come up with more trainings for nonprofits and churches, for they can easily refer people with mental health, refer people that need somewhere to stay. I know 311, but if that leader knows, just to call 311. Some people don't know that. If somebody's homeless, how do you interact? Where will they pick them up? At a hospital? All that kind of thing. I think the knowledge needs to be released. I don't think it flows through our community. We adopted South Shore Hospital. It's a couple blocks away from our church. We whatever they need. If they need me to call the state rep about funding, I'll call the state rep. I'll call the alderman. If they have if we have problems with them, I'll check them. And that's how I got to establish a relationship to improve the quality. And so the holistic approach is to look at what our community needs and give them. And the southeast side of Chicago, the medical care is a serious problem. So that's why I'm on different boards. I'm on a advisory board for the University of Chicago, South Shore, and I also interact with Trinity. And in order to be a voice, for me as a pastor, being a voice to encourage attention to the need in our community, like the problem of hospitals being on bypass. We don't know. That's a serious issue. My wife was ill. She thought she was having a heart attack. They're taking her to Trinity. We live a block from Trinity. And they said she can't come. My wife is like, I can't come. And she's, that we don't know the seriousness of our lack of quality health care on the southeast side. Of course, I know that the University of Chicago opened a trauma center. That just scratched the surface. It helped, but it's still problems like Mercy closing and all the other 5 hospitals. So we join in helping, and other organizations may be leading the effort, but we support them as far as that. Also, we have a connection with probation. When a young person is on probation, and then the person over the southeast side will call me, you have room to be in the program, and then we also do a lot of people come to the church, what we call it, where they need to
community service.
Community service. We do a lot and try to mentor them while they're doing community services.
Yeah, because mental health is a big problem. It's a serious problem. The impact of drugs, even if the person didn't directly take it, is generational. You know, and it's taboo. It's getting more normal for mental health assistance in our community, but it's not normal enough. You know, but so that's why I said the holistic approach. You can't change the physical until you change the mental. You know, so it's mandatory.
And marijuana. Oh
yes.
my God! I could not believe legalizing marijuana. I'm like in awe. I had one young man ran totally nude down State Street. From this, he has just destroyed his brain cells. I had another young man. He fell and just broke all the teeth in his mouth, high on marijuana. I had another young man come. I will never forget this. He said, I didn't sleep last night. I'm hallucinating. He just going through on a Sunday morning before I have to preach. So I see the impact. And not even say anything about crack cocaine. You know, you see so many desperation people coming in the church, but we know how to direct them the proper direction. I pray for them, but I also get them in rehab. And so Imani really has given us so many avenues for help with people.
How has COVID-19 changed the way you provide services and facilitate programs?
It's hilarious. With the food, we didn't stop. We just, because first of all, it was outdoors. So we just had to put COVID protocol in place. So they just had to space out more, and the signature cards kind of changed a little bit. But for everything else, it was like, OMG, you know, I panicked. We had to go complete when the pandemic was we had to shut down.
Okay.
Out of school, the program, we actually were in session with after school when the pandemic hit. So when the school closed, they automatically made us close. So what we did was I started calling my parents, you know, making sure they had computers. I also have a partnership with University of Chicago, and they help us get grants to make sure the community had what they needed. I was calling all my kids to make sure that they had proper internet. You know, we were going to do on-site home learning, but well, I just felt like if I didn't, because with the pandemic hit, our organization is, the church is 60 years old. And Imani is like 20 years old, but a lot of my staff are older, and they were in the age group of they were afraid. So I didn't want to come out and start with in person and without the proper staff, long story short. But what we did was we just supported, like I said, weekly visits, and we supported with computers, and then we did virtual summer camp, which turned out to be way better than I thought, like I said. But for our mentoring, that was a real difficult piece because depression hit our young men really bad during the pandemic. And like Pastor said, the weed was really, they took a nosedive into it. You know, so it was, it's been a struggle trying to regather them, refocus them, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that, I'm not saying that some people use medicinal purposes, all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how it's redirecting our youth, that they're not focused on their everyday life and not able to work. They're not able to do schoolwork because they high and can't function. And so that's where we ran into a big problem with our mentoring boys. But like I said, we still calling them, trying to keep in touch. And we, with the virtual and between, since a restaurant, we did one restaurant, and then they be able to come back on site. We can see it coming back together. But COVID really threw us for a real loop. But we were able to make it through. But we had to think outside the box and come up with all kinds of protocols. We got the thermometer checks, the hand sanitation stations, all of that, social distancing. And now that when we open back up, we have our space is set up for it with the shields and everything, and we were able to find resources for that.
One thing I noticed during the COVID that it really stuck out to me is this, that the sad thing to say, many of our homes are headed by a woman, and she works, and now a lot of the children are doing, their schooling online, and many of them are now online, and the facts reveal that. So I really, we used to could be more of a support when we had that personal contact, where I would go to the school, talk to the teacher, because mother couldn't get off her job. And now I don't have that connect anymore. And I think that I may be wrong, I think this is one of the reasons we're having so many carjackings, because they don't have a proper monitoring of the children. They're at home and they can go where they want to go. And most of the carjackings are from 15 to 18. So I think that has impacted, and I really feel bad I don't have that connect, the support that mother's trying to do the best she possibly can with her children. But I would want Dawn to speak to the connections we have with other non-profits and what we just received from the University of Chicago.
Yeah, I'm a Chicago Peace Fellow, which is where it was headed by the Golden Institute. It's a subsidiary of the Safe and Peaceful Summer Community Grant. And so a lot of people got it. And what they did was they created a network of nonprofits all over the city, large, small, varying age, varying experience. And we just worked together to make change. We went through, I think they're actually starting their, I want to say, for the Chicago Peace Fellows, I think they're on their third class. And I was a part of the first Chicago class. And they did the second. So this is the third one that's going to start. But we work together. We're a team, and it's a lot of people doing some good work in Chicago. I got on Miss Diane's Kids Off the Block mask right now. And it's just a lot of them. And they are amazing people. And they are doing a lot of work. And we support one another, So if they need something, I try to support, and if I need something, they try to support. Not always financially. It could be resources. It could be a grant writer. It could be accounting. It could be they need to use a building or whatever, vice versa. But we're a network. And then University of Chicago offer it's called the Community Programs Accelerator. And what they do is they just build capacity of nonprofits in this area. In the area next to the university, they have more a cohort started. We're part of the cohort, but the accelerator program is open to any nonprofit. Especially they focus on the South Side, but you can go to the classes, the capacity building classes, for free. All you have to do is just look in the University of Chicago Community Engagement, email, just Google it, and you'll come up, you can just join the classes there every month. They're free. They're Zoom now. Used to be in person. But University of Chicago has been a godsend, and they have really stood by their word. They helped me. They were one of the resources I used to transition over to virtual for summer. So they gave us virtual games to play that Zoom could do and help us keep the kids engaged. So,
where can people go to find out more about your organization?
Okay, well, we have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Imani Community. Then you can also go to our website, www.ImaniCommmunity.org. We put our pictures and our links up. We put all our upcoming flyers. April 9th, we'll be doing COVID testing. Fourth Tuesday in April, we have our food distribution. It's open to anybody in the city, anywhere, suburbs. We don't ask no questions. All we ask is that you put your name and the zip code. You don't have to, ain't no ID shown or nothing. Because we found you can judge from the outside. I could be driving a Cadillac or a Bentley, but I got that 10 years ago. And right now I'm hungry. So and we try not to judge, especially in this climate. A lot of people are going through and they're embarrassed. So we try to keep that in mind. So that's on the fourth Tuesday in April, I think. And then, like I said, we're doing COVID testing on April 9th. We're at 2314. Imani is housed at the church. We are in the lower level. But 2314 East 83rd Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60617. Most of these are outdoor. So don't be worried about coronavirus, no large groups. If it's a line that's 6 feet and you're outside, and with the COVID testing as well as the food, it goes fast. So it's with the testing, it's like 4 people checking in, and it goes really quickly. And with the food, we have a plethora of volunteers. So it's just a walking in the circle, hit it and quit it.
Okay.
I know this is not part of the answer, but I just feel led to say this about the vaccine. I feel this is a critical issue in our community. Only 6% of our community have taken the shot, and 28% of America has taken the shot. And I'm talking to my members, and I really broke this thing down. I thought about it. I had the virus. I was just a week from getting on the respirator. It wasn't long, just days. I was getting weaker, and this is when it first hit. And I know it almost took me out. This is serious. So if somebody's trying to make up their mind if you shouldn't take it, one thing for sure, the virus will take you out. The shot, okay, may have some great, elephant may be in the room, but you know what the virus will do. And I just want people to consider taking the shots, because I just see once we go down the road, the people that have taken it, the vaccine, they're going to take their masks out. The people that didn't take the vaccine going to take their masks out, and it will spread. So I'm very concerned for our community to really consider taking the vaccine. And we've had several tests, and so many people don't even want to come to get tested. That's another problem. This is not the first time we've had it. We're working on a relationship to even have the getting the shots at the church. And that's another thing, to utilize our building for that. But think about it like Benjamin Franklin. Do the negatives, do the positive, and make up your mind to do the right thing.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just like to add on what Don says. So many times our community, we're talked about very negative, nothing's going on, and I feel good about what we're doing and how we're impacting. And there's so many other non-for-profits that are doing tangible and impactful things in our community. And I want to appreciate and celebrate the citizens to bringing us on to give us an opportunity to give a report of what we're doing in our community. And I think that is critical, that people like you getting the word out of successful non-for-profits that are really trying to change our community. And I feel that's very important, and I wish more people would know more about the good non-for-profits.
Well, thank you.
Remember to make plans to join us again next week for Conversations with the Citizen, the place where real